Great, thank you, Bobby.
Okay.
Okay. So good evening, and thank you for attending Building Your Toolbox, a monthly educational series where practitioners teach individuals a pain management strategy or skill. Tonight, we are thrilled to have guest speaker Kristina Knight discuss the importance of our breath. My name is Michelle Rice. I have lived with chronic pain for over 23 years and serve as the patient engagement lead for U.S. Pain Foundation. Joining me tonight is Bobby Blades, a longtime volunteer support group leader for the organization. The U.S. Pain Foundation is committed to improving the lives of people with pain. Our mission is to empower, educate, connect, and advocate for all individuals, kids, and adults living with chronic illnesses or serious injuries that cause pain, as well as their caregivers and clinicians. Here is a quick view of the offerings of the organization. We are deeply invested in helping all individuals, many of whom who are significantly impacted by pain, through our free programs and services that include a national network of support groups, educational resources and events, a pediatric program for children and families, advocacy efforts, an awareness magazine called The Invisible Project, and more. We work to enhance the quality of life for people with pain, improve patient outcomes, address access and affordability issues, and increase public awareness and empathy for the issue of pain. You can learn more at uspainfoundation.org. I want to share our agenda for this evening. After going through a few housekeeping items, we will introduce our guest speaker, Kristina Knight, who will discuss the importance of breath, especially as it relates to decreasing anxiety and pain. Following the discussion, we will open up to a Q&A. I am now going to turn the stage over to Bobby to share more about the logistics for tonight. Bobby.
So a little bit of housekeeping first. All of the participants should be on mute for the first portion of today's program. And then please remute yourself if you have a chance to speak, ask questions when you're done speaking. Questions will be taken at the end. During the question and answer part, please raise your hand. The easiest way for us to see it is through the participants icon at the bottom of your Zoom screen. If you look at the bottom, there's a little smiley face. It says reactions. If you highlight that with your mouse, you'll see the raise hand, and then please lower it when you're done speaking. So you can also wave. It's just not easy for us to see everyone doing that. So please keep questions on topic as much as possible. If responding to another participant, please be careful not to rescue or give advice. We're here to validate and support each other. Remember that different treatments work differently for everyone, and be respectful of other opinions. Next slide, please. So tonight's event is educational only. The information is not meant to take the place of your healthcare provider. You should always consult with him or her about your unique health situation. U.S. Pain does not recommend or endorse any one therapy, treatment, or product. And if you feel that your medical condition or conditions are adversely affected by your participation in this webinar, it's your responsibility to discontinue participation and to immediately consult with your healthcare provider. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Bobby. So now it's time to meet our expert. Kristina Knight is a certified yoga therapist who has experienced persistent pain for over 30 years. She is also an advanced pain care yoga teacher and pain science educator, having completed over 600 hours of studies specific to pain and the science of pain. She works with those experiencing chronic pain, specializing in failed back surgery syndrome. Additionally, she is a pain care aware trainer and leads trainings and workshops for yoga therapists, for yoga teachers, therapists, and healthcare providers. Kristina also leads the organization's Colorado and Wyoming chronic pain support group that meets the fourth Monday of the month. We are so excited to have her speak tonight about breathing and how it is an underrated and underused tool in our toolboxes. Kristina, thank you for being here. And I will stop sharing so that you can share.
Gosh, thank you. Oh my goodness, welcome everybody. This is so exciting. Let me share my screen, and thanks for the amazing introduction there. It's I was all preparing to do that myself, so you saved me. And one caveat, I have to apologize. I'm getting over like this brutal like upper respiratory infection that morphed into whatever, and then allergies on top of it. So I will do my best to keep from coughing. And I have my whole supply of beverages and cough drops here. So anyway, thank you so much. Let's see, can everybody hear me okay? Yep, okay, good. And the slides are okay?
We can hear you perfectly.
Okay, awesome.
We can see your slides. Thanks, Kristina.
Thank you so much. So your breath, the most underrated, underused tool in your toolbox. I've been speaking with Nicole and Gwen before that about what I would potentially do. And as a yoga therapist / yoga teacher, I know for me and for different clients I've worked with, finding my breath, and I should say also as a person who's experienced pain for a very long time, that being able to key into, become aware, and find techniques to regulate my breath and expand it to develop my overall well-being has really been something that has helped me tremendously, especially now that I'm kind of getting over this cold. I've been using some different practices. So one caveat before we get started, we're talking about this presentation through the lens of yoga and yoga therapy. Just wanted to take a little second to talk a bit about that. Most people in America think of yoga as going to a yoga class that could be restorative, or a hot yoga class, or a gentle yoga class. And that's one thing I just wanted to put into perspective, is that's a very small part of what yoga really is. Sometimes in a yoga class, what you're doing, or what you are primarily doing, is asana, which is a series of postures or poses. You may also have introduction to some breathing practices called pranayama. But it depends on the actual class that you're taking. But from the perspective of yoga as the bigger picture, really those asana and pranayama are only part of the 8 limbs of yoga. So I just kind of wanted to put that out there, that the cup of yoga is much deeper and wider than just going to a yoga class in and of itself. We can talk about this later if you'd like. And in terms of yoga therapy, what's different about that is all yoga therapists start with becoming yoga teachers. And then you go on to at least an 800-hour, if not more, program that's specifically designed to work on the therapeutics of yoga, where we are working with the different techniques and practices to help with specific medical conditions. For me, it's persistent pain, and those with failed back surgery syndrome. But it's usually a one-on-one type of thing where you are working specifically with a client towards their goals and matching those practices to their goals, which could be learning to move with more ease. It could be getting stronger. It could be, I want to play golf again. It could be, I want to sleep better. any number of things, decrease my pain medications. And we work generally as yoga therapists with your team of your physician, physical therapist, psychotherapist, whatever that is. We stay in communication to provide a more integrative process. So I just wanted to take a second to talk about that before we went on. Oops, why am I not moving? Hang on here. Okay, here we go. Underused, underrated, woohoo! So what happens in the face of pain? Like, I'd love to talk more about this during the Q&A session, just for everybody's kind of unique experience. But what our breath looks and feels like is sometimes we stop breathing entirely. We breathe really shallowly. Sometimes it can feel painful or difficult to find that, because it is now for me, can work on finding that expansive breath that sometimes we would love to have. We take it for granted, and it's autonomic, along with our heart beating and our brain functioning. Those three things working together just happen without us really thinking about it. And like with anything, using one's breath or changing your breath or developing or training it is something to be practiced. So what can be done? I feel like I've actually missed a slide here. I apologize. Hang on a second. Okay, sorry, I did miss a slide. Pardon me. So we're going to go back. So one of my yoga mentors, and his book, Yoga for Grief Relief, his name is Antonio Sosis, says life is one breath in, one breath out, no more, no less. And I love that. Like, that just is so meaningful to just bring you back to this point in time. And that's really all that we have. And yet working on our breath can be the single easiest, best place to start for changing our moods, decreasing stress, increasing our overall sense of well-being, and decreasing pain. And studies have shown in various ways and particular settings that breathing, different practices, have helped conditions that involve our cardiovascular, our immune systems, our respiratory systems, and our nervous systems, just to name a few. Okay, so we're gonna see if I can get this. So overused or underused, underrated. So what can be done? So from my perspective and how I work with clients, we have this triad that we work with. Number one is awareness. Number two is regulation. And number three is discernment. So number one, awareness. Are you aware of how, when, and to what extent are you breathing? And it's the first place that we start generally. And it's easy, especially in the face of pain, to get completely disconnected from this. So take a moment, wherever you're sitting, shuffle yourself for a second, close your eyes if it feels safe and right for you. And using just your sense of awareness and noticing. From where are you breathing right now? There are no right or wrong answers. From your chest, your belly, your ribs. Just take a second to tune in and just notice. And then switching your attention, what qualities of your breath do you notice? It might feel rigid or free-flowing, constrained, whatever name you want to put on it. That's what it is right now. And then secondarily to that, what thoughts are popping into your brain right now? Anything from, wow, I never pay attention to my breath, or this is really aggravating. or whatever it is that you want to name. It's yours and yours alone. No judgment. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes and come back to this space. So that's sort of an example of awareness where we're just keying in, we're not changing anything, just noticing. And as I mentioned before, for those of us suffering from persistent pain, especially in the face of pain that's really triggering us, that our breath is the last thing kind of to come into play. So secondarily to that is regulation, which is making changes to your breath pattern. And the great thing here is that there are hundreds of options to use. Excuse me. It can be changing the count to your breath, 4 inhales in, 4 exhales, 4 inhales in, 4 holding for a count of 4, exhaling for 4, any number. There are just from a yogic perspective, there are lots of pranayama exercises like bee breath, skull shining breath, ocean breath, like the list goes on and on. And breathing is not just like, of course, the how do I want to say, not the purview or the like yoga doesn't own breath practices. It's all over all sorts of different world practices. So discernment is the last part, which is deciding what would work for you at this point in time. So once you kind of get some different practices under your belt, you can say, okay, today this is challenging me. I think that this might serve me best now. And it's a moving target. You know, sometimes you might try something every day for 30 days and say, okay, I'm done with that now. But it's always in your toolbox for when you need to use it later. So let's see if I can do this next slide. Whoops. Oh, okay. Hang on. Okay, this is a long slide. So first of all, there is a QR code and a link down at the bottom that's going to send you to this PDF. It's really out of focus. Here we go. It's a brilliant PDF designed better than I ever could. It's from the Ayurvedic Health Center and Wellness that talks a little more about the specific practice, the benefits of it, and how to do it. So you don't necessarily need to read through this whole slide, because what I'm going to do is talk you through it. I'm going to show you how to do it, and then we're going to do it together. And along the way, we're going to talk about modifications for a possibility also. So this is, as I mentioned, a regulation practice where we're actually changing our breath pattern. And it's the best of both worlds. It's breathing through only your left nostril for calming and breathing only through your right for energy. So the idea is that we're balancing in the cyclical effect our brain and breathing. It's been shown to help benefits with sleep. They say weight loss, although I don't know about that. Release of emotions, facilitates deeper breathing. And I know myself, and one of the reasons why I wanted to demonstrate this is that it's been very helpful for me. I feel kind of an overall sense of calm and connectedness, and just that I don't know if this might sound strange, but the sort of feeling of connectedness of my whole body when at times it feels like things are too separate. But I'd be curious, and please, keep my contact information if you'd love, or if you would like to. I would be really interested to find out, if you decide to move forward with this practice, what your end results are. Excuse me. So how this is done normally is you are supporting your right arm with your left, either this way or with a table. And you don't have to go along yet. You can just observe. And I'll show some modifications for those who this might be just not the thing for you today. And you will take your index finger and your middle finger and place them, trying to think if I need to get closer, right between your eyebrows. And you're going to use your right thumb to close off your right nostril. Yeah, you can try it if you want. And then your ring finger to close off your left. So it'll look something like this. So sit back. I don't know. Can you see me? I know with my blurred, should I unblur, Michelle? Or get closer?
Yeah, can you come a little bit? I don't think it's the blurring. I think it's just the distance because
Okay.
at least on my screen, you're a little teeny tiny little box because we're doing the share screen.
Oh yeah. I wonder if I maybe hang on, maybe I should speaker view. Spotlight. Am I spotlighted now?
You're bigger now than you were
Okay.
before. I can see you better.
So yeah, index finger, middle finger are gonna rest between your eyebrows. Right thumb, right nostril, left, or your ring finger, left nostril. So it looks like this. And the aspect or the object is that everything is gentle. Is what we're going to be doing is doing a breathing circuit where you're closing off one nostril, breathing only through one, and then closing off the other and breathing through the other one. So we'll go through it in a second, but that's the gist of how it works. So if at any time this does not serve you, you feel dizzy or lightheaded, or from a pain perspective, this doesn't work, like stop and find a normal breath, but just listen, because there is huge power in the object of visualization. We do that a lot, or I do that a lot with clients. And as different scientific studies have shown, using functional MRI machines, like having people visualize activities really fires in those areas of their brain. So there is a benefit. So don't think you can't do this. It's accessible to everybody. So let me show you the modification. So if you don't feel like this is the way to go, and I'm just holding my hands up here, but they'll be lying in your lap. So if you're imagining, so when I say, okay, close off your right nostril, you're going to close your right hand just gently, leave your left open. And I guess I'm probably opposite of you. And then when I say, close off your left and open your right, you'll just switch your hands. And just as you do that, just imagine, because I'll give you the direction, like inhale through your left, exhale through your left, close, open your right, inhale through your right, exhale through your right. So that can be a way to get through this, but you proceed with what works for you. Anyone with high blood pressure, don't hold your breath during this. And those with respiratory conditions like asthma or COPD, just approach with caution and just use your own kind of internal guidance. So,
And I assume that, may I ask, it says
yeah.
can use your left hand if desired.
Yeah.
So someone who's left-handed might feel
Yes.
more comfortable doing this with their left hand.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Yes, that's exactly it. I wasn't sure exactly where I put all my bits and pieces. So it's the same thing, just, or even if you have something happening with your right hand and you want to try with your left, there's no problem. So okay, it is normal for your nose to feel stuffier on one side than another. So as you go through, if you feel kind of some anxiety or some tension kind of surrounding this, just do what you need to. You can lessen kind of the pinch, that's not the word I'm looking for, lessen the press on your nose if you want. Again, this is something that's probably new to most people, and it's something that that will be practiced, and it will change as you increase your practice. And then practice. Guess that's what I'm saying. So, okay, let's go for it now. All right, let me see if I said I pinned myself. Should I make myself bigger?
I can see you. Okay, but
See me just fine?
I can see you okay. I'm not sure. Bobby, how is it for you?
Because your name is at the bottom, if your head were up a little higher, people might get a better view.
Okay, thank you. Oh yeah, I see me now. Let me just,
Okay. Much better.
is that better?
Yes.
Yay, okay. So
Thank
you don't
you.
need to watch me, because if it feels right and safe and great for you, close your eyes and I'll guide you through how this works. So let me go back. I don't want to do that slide yet. Oops. Okay. Anyway, I'll figure that out later. Okay. So index finger, middle finger together, or your hands, however you want to proceed. And then fingertips just gently resting on your right nostril with your thumb, and your third finger on your left. Find your comfortable seat. Wiggle if you need to. And you're going to close off your right nostril and inhale through your left. And at the top of that left inhale, close off your left nostril. Exhale through your right. And then inhale through your right. And at the top of that inhale, close off your right, open your left, and exhale through your left. And inhale through your left. And that's considered one round. So at the top of the inhale of the left, close your left, exhale through your right. Inhale through your right. Close. Exhale left. Inhale left. Close. Open right. Exhale right. Inhale right. And it's okay if you totally lose this and lose count. Close right. Exhale left. Inhale left. Close left. Exhale right. Inhale right. Close right. Exhale left. Inhale left. And you can continue on at your own pace if this still serves you. Rotating back and forth, and you're switching at the inhale. If you've continued, try 2 more cycles if that still serves you. And then when you're finished, let your hands rest in your lap. And if you had your eyes closed, keep your eyes closed for just a moment. Sorry, I was just trying to scroll through to see who was done. Take a moment to just catalog what sensations are you noticing right now. And it's a-okay if they're negative sensations. We're just noticing. Do you notice a difference in your breath? Does head feel different? If you used a modification, how did that feel? Visualizing the experience. And just really, this is about becoming aware of all the after sensations of that particular experience. And when you're ready, you can come back. This is my last slide, just something to ponder. Came across this and I thought it was really pretty profound. No matter what you eat, how much you exercise, how skinny or young or wise you are, none of it matters if you're not breathing properly. There's nothing more essential to our health and well-being than breathing. Take air in, let it out. Repeat 25,000 times a day. Yet as a species, humans have lost the ability to breathe correctly with grave consequences. So thank you so much. I hope you've enjoyed this little bitty, tiny piece of me and the things that I love.